Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today's topic has taken the world by storm, a moment that has completely reshaped the balance of power and rewritten the playbook of modern warfare. The massive impact that struck Russia's elite military base and energy grid has sent shockwaves across the global stage. What began as an ordinary night quickly transformed into an inferno of destruction and chaos, leaving behind a trail of devastation that no one expected or was prepared for. The images emerging from the site reveal scenes of total annihilation, where an entire military complex once stood in disciplined precision. There is now nothing but smoldering ruins and twisted metal. The sheer force of the strike has shattered the illusion of impenetrable defense systems and forced military analysts to rethink what true vulnerability looks like in the age of precision technology. The devastation is not just physical, it is symbolic. A reflection of the fragility that exists even in the heart of powerful nations. The exterior of the elite base lies in ruins. The infrastructure that once stood as a monument of technological prowess and military dominance has been reduced to ash. Enormous hangars that once held fighter jets and armored vehicles have been ripped apart by successive detonations, leaving behind craters so vast that they resemble the scars of an asteroid strike. The runways are fractured and cratered, their concrete torn apart as if made of paper. Communication towers lie collapsed in tangled piles, while fuel depots burn with thick black smoke rising into the sky for miles. The base perimeter that was once ringed with advanced radar arrays and surface-to-air missile systems now lies silent and lifeless. The sensors and defenses that were supposed to provide early warning failed in the face of precision and coordination beyond what anyone anticipated. Those who have seen the satellite. The imagery describe a scene of utter obliteration where every square meter tells the story of power meeting precision in a single devastating moment. Inside the base, the damage is even more horrifying. The interior of command buildings that once housed top-ranking officers and elite strategic planners is now unrecognizable. Control rooms are blackened with soot wires, hang from collapsed ceilings, and shattered screens still flicker faintly, displaying fragments of broken code and dead communication channels. Corridors are filled with debris, and the acrid stench of burnt electronics fills the air. Survivors describe how alarms blared endlessly as systems failed one by one. The automated defense programs that were supposed to repel such attacks malfunctioned amid the chaos as waves of shock tore through the structure in rapid succession. Underground bunkers, thought to be safe from external strikes, were compromised by precision penetrators that detonated deep below the surface, rupturing the foundation of the entire complex. The level of accuracy achieved in this operation defied expectations, not only hitting visible structures, but also targeting internal support systems with surgical precision, rendering the base completely inoperative within minutes. The performance of this strike stands as a testament to the evolution of modern warfare. This was not a random bombardment. It was a carefully orchestrated sequence of blows designed to neutralize every defensive layer before the enemy could even react. Reports indicate the use of long-range autonomous drones combined with guided missile technology that synchronized their impact with near-perfect timing. The operation was executed under total electronic silence, with advanced stealth drones entering Russian airspace undetected, navigating through radar corridors with algorithms that adapted in real time to enemy detection patterns once over to. Target zone multiple munitions were released in synchronized fashion, each programmed to strike at specific coordinates based on live surveillance feedback from orbital reconnaissance platforms. This event exposed the cracks in Russia's defensive architecture, showing that even the most fortified sites could be rendered defenseless when attacked with intelligence, speed, and precision rather than sheer force. The safety features built into the base failed to function as intended. The layered protection of radar-guided interceptors and short-range missile systems was overwhelmed within seconds. Electronic countermeasures that were supposed to jam incoming guidance signals proved useless against the adaptive algorithms guiding the attacking drones. Even emergency counter-battery systems, which could have provided minimal resistance, failed to respond, because the communication grid was taken offline at the very start of the operation in one swift maneuver. All lines of command and defense were cut. The personnel on site had no warning, no direction, and no chance to retaliate. Civilian safety mechanisms were triggered only after the initial waves of explosions. But by then, the shock waves had already damaged energy facilities connected to the region as the base's nearby power distribution hub was struck. It triggered a cascade of failures that rippled across the entire energy grid, plunging neighboring cities and industrial zones into darkness for hours, even days. In some areas, hospitals switched to emergency generators, water systems faltered, transportation networks came to a standstill. The human cost of the blackout became an unseen but profound consequence. In analyzing the unique characteristics of this attack, one must recognize the sophistication behind its execution. The stealth capabilities displayed here were beyond conventional standards. These drones and missiles did not simply fly toward their target, they adapted in mid-flight, changing altitudes, speeds and trajectories based on real-time feedback to evade interception systems, their low radar cross-sections and heat signature. These suppression technologies made them nearly invisible until impact intelligence analysts believed that multiple layers of surveillance were used, including satellite-based reconnaissance, electromagnetic scanning, and possibly human intelligence embedded within the target zone. What makes this strike even more exceptional is the coordination between data streams. Each missile's path was refined through real-time satellite communication that adjusted its final trajectory for maximum impact. The simultaneous targeting of the base and the energy grid was not coincidence. It was strategic intent designed to cripple both military capability and logistical resilience. The destruction of the power supply not only amplified the chaos, but also hindered recovery efforts as emergency systems reliant on electricity were rendered useless. From a technological perspective, this operation is being studied as a benchmark of efficiency, precision, and speed. It represented a paradigm shift where warfare is no longer about brute strength or numbers, but about information control, timing, and adaptability. Each strike was like a chess move executed with the precision of a grandmaster striking the opponent's king before they even realized they were in check. The financial cost of such an operation is immense, but the psychological impact far outweighs any economic measure. The Russians had invested billions into this base building, it as a hub for elite operations and advanced weapon storage. Now all that remains is rubble, twisted steel, and the echo of explosions that still haunt the region. Days later, military morale has been shattered as soldiers and commanders alike question how their most secure installations could fall so easily. The confidence in their defensive systems has been eroded, and the political repercussions are spreading like wildfire across every level of command. The performance of the strike also demonstrates the growing reliance on unmanned systems in high-intensity warfare. These machines operated autonomously, yet cooperatively sharing data in real time, forming a digital swarm that acted like a single organism. This level of synchronization made interception nearly impossible. Even the most advanced missile defense systems rely on predicting trajectories, but when those trajectories shift dynamically, every few seconds, prediction becomes meaningless. The energy efficiency of the drones, their long operational range and low visibility, make them not just weapons, but symbols of technological dominance by the attackers. It is clear that the planners behind this operation understood not only the tactical landscape, but also the psychological value of such a strike. By hitting the energy grid simultaneously, they magnified the sense of vulnerability, showing that destruction can come not only to military assets, but also to the infrastructure that sustains everyday life. The safety implications of this event stretch far beyond the battlefield. It serves as a grim warning that even civilian energy and communication systems are now potential front lines in modern conflict. While military structures are designed with redundancies and hardened defenses, civilian grids are fragile, interlinked, and largely defenseless. When an energy hub is struck, the ripple effect is immediate. Industries halt, communications collapse, and hospitals run on borrowed power. This attack was as much about shock and awe as it was about strategic dismantling. The idea that an enemy can turn off your power while simultaneously dismantling your defense systems is terrifying. It demonstrates how the modern era of warfare blurs the line between front lines and home fronts. In this case, the blackout extended across regions thousands of kilometers away, leaving millions in temporary darkness. A symbolic gesture that underscored the message of powerlessness in the face of precision technology. The cost of this event cannot simply be measured in dollars or rubles, though the financial toll is staggering. The destroyed aircraft fuel reserves, radar systems, and energy plants represent billions in losses. But the true cost is the erosion of deterrence. The moment a nation realizes its strongest points are vulnerable is the moment its strategic posture weakens. The loss of this base undermines confidence among allied forces and exposes weaknesses to adversaries worldwide. It is a domino effect, where one act of destruction triggers a chain reaction of political and military uncertainty inside Russia. There will be investigations, accusations, and blame. The command structure will be forced to explain how an elite base meant to symbolize strength became the very image of defeat externally. The world observes and recalculates, measuring how quickly such a precise operation could change the course of a conflict. In the aftermath, teams have begun assessing the damage and attempting to restore basic functions, but progress is slow. The ruins still emit heat from burned fuel and ammunition scattered across the site. Unexploded ordnance poses a danger to recovery crews. Drones continue to patrol overhead, assessing remaining threats and gathering intelligence on the aftermath. The surrounding landscape bears the scars of war. Deep craters flooded by rain reflect the flicker of distant fires, and the faint hum of emergency generators echo in the silence. The once bustling corridors of command now lie empty, save for the fragments of broken walls and scattered documents that tell the story of panic, confusion, and helplessness. Inside this destroyed base lies a grim reminder that no fortress is invincible in a world where precision has become the ultimate weapon. What truly makes this incident different is its timing and coordination. The strike was executed at the precise moment when defenses were at their lowest, perhaps during a routine maintenance cycle or a planned systems recalibration. Timing is everything in such operations, and whoever planned it understood exactly when to strike and how to exploit the gaps between readiness and vulnerability. The psychological brilliance of choosing such a moment cannot be understated. It ensured maximum impact, both physically and symbolically, across social media. The footage of explosions illuminated the night sky like a storm of fire, captivating millions worldwide. Within minutes, the story spread, fueling debates, speculation, and shock in political circles and newsrooms alike. International observers have described this event as a watershed moment in strategic warfare. Analysts are now studying how digital warfare, cyber disruption, and kinetic strikes are being merged into unified operations. Before the physical strike began, there are reports suggesting that digital interference was used to disable parts of the defense network, hacking into control grids and feeding false signals that confused radar operators. If true, this operation represents the seamless blending of cyber and physical warfare, where lines of code can be as destructive as missiles themselves. This new era of hybrid conflict is redefining the concept of safety and security in the modern world. No longer can a nation rely solely on walls, weapons, or warning systems. Defense now depends on adaptability, constant monitoring, and the ability to counter not just physical attacks, but invisible digital intrusions that prepare the battlefield long before the first explosion occurs. The implications extend into global politics as nations observe and quietly reassess their own vulnerabilities. Military strategists are already calling this a wake-up call, emphasizing the need for decentralized power grids, redundant communication lines, and autonomous defensive systems that can respond even when central command is cut off. The lessons drawn from this strike will influence defense budgets and strategic doctrines for years to come. The destruction of the energy grid has proven how dependent modern societies are on fragile networks that can collapse with just a few coordinated blows. This realization may drive nations toward developing hardened infrastructure designed to withstand not only natural disasters, but also deliberate precision attacks. The human aspect of the story adds yet another layer of depth. The shock among military personnel and civilians alike has created an atmosphere of disbelief. Soldiers who once felt untouchable now feel exposed. Families in blackout zones wonder how such events can happen in a modern world. The psychological warfare embedded within this operation is undeniable. It was not just about destroying assets, but about sending a message that fear can be as powerful as firepower. Within days of the attack, the morale of military units across the region dropped significantly as rumors of further strikes circulated through ranks. Uncertainty became as damaging as any explosion, and trust in leadership weakened further. In essence, this operation demonstrates that power is no longer defined solely by numbers of tanks or missiles, but by control over information, precision, and the ability to strike first and decisively. The attackers showcased not just superior weaponry, but also superior intelligence gathering, coordination, and understanding of human psychology. They turned technology into an instrument of dominance, transforming warfare from brute confrontation into an art of invisible precision. What once took days or weeks of heavy bombardment can now be achieved in minutes through algorithms and coordination. The scale of this transformation cannot be overstated. It is rewriting military doctrines and redefining how nations prepare for the wars of tomorrow. In conclusion, the destruction of the Russian elite